FBI for a releasee update on one out of the 3 Ghanaians. Somewhere last year, specifically June 2025, they came in here to arrest and extradite them to the USA. Almost say they were involved in an alleged over 100 million US dollars romance scams. So Yebekaya June. Omo decide say omo be arrest Isaac Kofi Boateng, no do friend Kofi, both very popular guy. We all know him across the country. Enusa Ahmed, do do friend Pascal Park Academy, and Derrick Van Yeboah, this guy or ye low key to the extent. So on one kasani family members impo enim no. So these 3 people in the last year, June 2025, just FBI for so Derrick Van Yeboah, there is an update that has been released on his case. Now, of all the days available, FBI decided to spoil our Independence Day with this bad news. So, I'm going to call court. Now, I'm going to call court no or confess say no cray. Just 100 million US dollars as alleged by them. Say omo just ono owiemu 10 million US dollars plus. So as you cannot touch here. So squad day this country where them gamer collect that money with and they sit on that money low key. Just say yeah bre omo nye donation bia they are not doing any sort of charity. Omo nkwa no matia sikane so and omo di. So out of FBI for decided to release an official update on his case since they are closing in on him. So Omuchemwa, Ghanaian national, pleads guilty to stealing more than 10 million US dollars via romance scams. So almost a Ghanaian national underline. They didn't mention Derrick Van Yeboah, but they decided to bring Ghana in the equation. So Omuchemwa, almost a United States attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clinton, announced the guilty plea of Derrick Van Yeboah, aka Van, for his role in an international criminal organization that stole more than 100 million US dollars from victims via romance scams and business email compromises. Van Yeboah pled guilty today to conspiracy to commit wire fraud before US District Judge Aaron Subramanian. Adolfo, so I'm say, look, what did Derrick Van Yeboah call court? Now, bisa the questions, are you guilty or not? Or no one stress you, he just pleaded guilty. Say yes, of course, I am guilty. So bisa the questions. And Ochemu say, look, 100 million US dollars, gang, me dimu 10 million plus. So they went on. Derrick Van Yeboah pled guilty today to a massive criminal scheme targeting elderly men and women in online romance scams, said U.S. Attorney Jay Clinton. Many New Yorkers search for companionship online, and no one deserves to have their vulnerability met with fraud and theft. Van Yeboah cruelly exploited those vulnerabilities for over 10 million US dollars in illicit profit. Today's plea is a reminder to be vigilant online, especially on dating websites. Never give money to someone you just met. And if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So, Omuchemwa, Van Yeboah, a use dating site, DJ Bam. So, New Yorkers, Mbrewano, Kwakrano, they want love. So, boys, a create, account, either man or woman, they chat, and collect profit from them. So the New Yorkers caution to be extra careful. According to the charging documents and statements made in public filings and public court proceedings, Van Yeboah was a member of a criminal organization primarily based in Ghana that committed romance scams and business email compromises against individuals and businesses located across the United States. Many of the conspiracy's victims were vulnerable older men and women who were tricked into believing that they were in online romantic relationships with persons who were in fact fake identities assumed by members of the conspiracy. Once members of the conspiracy had gained the trust of their victims, they deceived those victims into sending their money to the enterprise or into helping them launder funds from other victims. The conspirators also committed business email compromises to trick and deceive businesses into wiring funds to the enterprise. In total, the conspiracy stole and laundered more than $100 million from dozens of victims. After stealing the money, the fraud proceeds were then laundered to West Africa. Van Yeboah personally perpetrated many of the romance scams by impersonating fake romantic partners in communications with victims. He's being held responsible for more than $10 million he stole from victims via romance scams. So, say, look, normally, targeting brewane kwakra, they need love the most. Inti normal creative fake identity, normal chatty, they gain their trust, normal to bill, what you say, normal jebam confirmation. Not just say the cycle continues. Look, they are or they were based in Ghana. Na they are criminal enterprise. We are over $100 million. And Derrick, they are confessing, say Udimu over $10 million. So almost apart from romance scams, what they do also a business email compromise, a BEC. So what they do, and they say, they infiltrate the email of businesses, big companies. Now, open so wire sika ema na omo send details no maji. Bam. So to us, so as a Van 40 of Ghana pled guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Van Yeboah also agreed to make restitution and pay forfeiture, both in the amount of $149,429.17. The maximum potential sentence is prescribed by Congress and is provided here for informational purposes only, as any sentencing of the defendant will be determined by the judge. Van Yeboah is scheduled to be sentenced by Judge Subramanian on June 3, 2026. Mr. Clayton praised the outstanding work of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He also thanked Ghana and the U.S. Department of Justice's Office of International Affairs for their assistance. The case is being prosecuted by the office's Complex Frauds and Cybercrime Unit. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Meade and Mitzi Steiner are in charge of the prosecution. So, say, look, now that he has pleaded guilty on June 3, 2026, and on best sentence, now maximum sentence will be to me 20 years. So, praise Ghanaians, Ghana authority, and da say Yeboah to arrest this individual. Now, look, obetria restitution, say obetria forfeiture, nyema bi wo ho a wenya or the bema aban ne say tika aye 10 million we no fante omoka. Into this is the update at FBI for Amma. Charlie, so if this is the update, we can only imagine what would happen to Obi Tisabu Treka if eventually grabbing ye extradite and then they call USA, provided he is guilty. Out of what do you have to say? Please let us know. Answer na ibejaimo. Out of what video we are, I recommend the Lampline Steady Consult for you. Unimobi our SHS or person in bachelors. Now so nisika and now ye ne bachelors so here sika and masters or even doctorate. Out of Chinese government, so through Lampline Steady Consult, what they will do, and he said they will secure fully funded scholarship for you. Won't ask you fees or tuition fee, hostel free at all. They would also even give you monthly stipends, allowance every month. So umpewe na open day. So at all, in fact, contact them on my number and I will screen it. So far, never have convo with them. Little processing fee pay. And obituary, they will have you sorted. Vimbas TV so ena.
Vimbas TV.